Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, what we're going to learn is sensory acuity. And what sensory acuity is our ability to adjust, match, and connect with other people's energy so that we can be in tune with them, right? So we can communicate with people. Because what happens is when we're in, throughout the day, right, we all have all these different ways of thinking, ways of being. Thousand thoughts come into our mind. Maybe something bad happened. Maybe our dog got hurt. Maybe someone died in our family. Maybe something catastrophic has happened. And what happens is we don't know where we're at. And when we're looking to connect with other people, the three things that we must do is adjust, match, and connect, right? Because when, like, say I'm going to a funeral, if I'm in a great, exceptional mood, right? I'm in a very high energy mood. I'm like, hey, what's up? And I'm talking to people at a funeral, what's going to happen? They're going to be like, they're going to have this reaction that I am, dude, what are you doing? Someone just died. And I couldn't imagine doing that, right? We adjust our temperature, our degrees of being towards other people by what's going on in the situation. So when we get good at looking at body language, at seeing what other people are doing, then we can kind of adjust our energy, adjust what we're looking, to do. So, these are things that we have to get good at if we're going to grow a business, grow ourselves, come into conversations, right? You've ever had different energy and you went into the wrong conversation and people just didn't get you because you came in, maybe they were really high energy and your energy just kind of dampened what they were doing. If they were like excited about something and celebrating, you come in with this like morose kind of energy, the energy just doesn't match. You've disrupted the connection that you're looking to make. So, the three things that you got to do is adjust. Sometimes you could read people and people are like this, maybe they're thinking, maybe they're contemplating, and, maybe you could go in and just match that energy. Oh, I see you're thinking about something. It could be any kind of conversation, looks practice. But coming in and being humble, I always believe is a way of connecting with people and matching with their energy and then connecting with them to be able to affect their energy level. I do things as simple as, going into like a Starbucks and asking someone about their necklace or about, just standing in line and saying, oh, I see that's a great sweater you have on. I love it. It looks so warm and comfortable. Tell me about that sweater, or just be like, oh, or just leave it at that, and they'll be like, oh, I love this sweater. I've had this sweater since I was 10 years old. And, hopefully not 10 years old if they're like in their 30s or 40s. Probably wouldn't be someone I'd want to talk to, but you never know. But the thing is like when you're able to sense how someone is being, right, you're able to bring in, I'm a pretty positive person most of the time. I do have some ways of being when I'm in deep thought or thinking and analyzing, and people talk to me sometimes. I don't even know they're there. But when I'm connecting with people on a deeper level, I will always open up the doors to a conversation, especially when you're in line in a Starbucks, right? Sometimes you can see people are antsy. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they're trying to get somewhere. But if you want to work on communicating with other people, your sensory acuity of who you're being and what you're becoming while you're doing it just gives you a read on people, and you're able to adjust where they're at. So you could go in and maybe connect with them and see where they're at. If you come in, if they're in very low energy and you come in with kind of like a humble energy and maybe connect with them, watch them and say, hey, how's it going? It could be simple as that if you notice their energy is kind of low, and usually just by being quiet and asking a question, and being real and being authentic and genuine about your connection with other human beings. People love that, man, because I believe not enough people truly connect on a daily level because we're so inundated with our phones that we forget what it's like to truly connect on a deeper level. But when we can adjust our temperature, our way of being, and talk to everybody, it gives us a one up. It takes practice. I know it does. For me, I believe it comes pretty easy. I'm pretty, I have a sales background, and it's just my way of connecting. My energy is pretty good. And the thing is that I do have to practice on is adjusting at people's levels, because sometimes I can bring in too much energy. I can bring in my highness, and not the king on the crown of my head, but just my certainty and energy. And sometimes that diminishes the other person right away if they're not feeling that way. But sometimes if I go in, I adjust to them, and I want to connect, and they're kind of low. I say, "Hey, man, how's it going?" Oh, it's not too good. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Why is that? Oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. And then sometimes I'm quiet and people talk and they feel better. And you leave people feeling better just by connecting with them. But if you adjust how you're being, you match your energy, then maybe you could bring it up a little bit. Maybe you could tune up your energy and kind of like turn it up like a volume, like a dial, and get them out of that funk. Because sometimes people just need to talk about things and voice the reasoning behind it. And then you're able to connect on a deeper level. Maybe you say goodbye to them at that moment, and maybe you see them again because you're going to the same place, but you get better. Each time you connect with someone, you develop a relationship with them. Even if it's not a strong, deep relationship, but maybe it could become that. But again, it's how you interpret, the feeling of something. Again, using that example at the beginning, if I go to a funeral home and I'm like, go to high five somebody, at a funeral home, and I'm excited, I think that'd be the wrong, disrespectful energy. It would be kind of uncaring, and it would be kind of like, not, I'm not really observing the situation. And maybe the situation just, calls for a little, being a little humble and being, matching that energy of that moment, just to maybe see where everybody's at and see where everybody wants to go with it, then directing that energy to maybe talk about maybe that person at that funeral, or remember something great about them, or like speak about, something that can bring them to where they really want to go, but again, it's, all of this takes time, and it's like, having that way of matching is really watching. People don't really think about what sensory acuity is. They don't think about how to adjust to people's situations when they come in. Someone, greets you with high energy. What do? Sometimes it's a cue or a trigger to bring that back to them. If they're like, "Hey, what's up, Ray?" And you're like, "Hey, what's up, Bob?" And you go back and forth, and maybe not in that voice a little strange. But I decide to, greet them with high energy back. And then, we're both coming in and we're meeting each other's energy. And then we could adjust to the levels where we want to go and talk about. And it's funny. I'm trying to remember back when I was living in Brooklyn. I remember seeing a girl crying on the sidewalk, and I went in a store. And usually you're in your own head when you live in the city. You're just focused. You're like, okay, what do I got to do next? What's next? What's next? But I saw this girl on the sidewalk, and I stopped, and she was crying. I said, "Hey, what's up, man? Is everything all right with you?" She said, "Oh, you wouldn't believe." She told me this thing that she got kicked out of her apartment, and like, all this bad thing was, and she's just looking to, and I don't know if her story was true, but, she said, "Oh, I'm just looking to go from here. I got to go back to Park Slope, and I'm trying to get there as quickly as possible. And I need $5. And usually to me, that's a scam, but I did give her $5. And I said, "Have a good day. I hope you get where you're going." She said, "Thank you. I really appreciate that." She says, it's just, I'm having one of those days. I said, yeah, I've been there. We've all been there. And I said, "Hey, keep your chin up, shoulders back. You'll get to where you want." Gave her a little smile and then took off. So again, it's just, and I gave with the energy of that I'm doing a good deed. Whether or not whatever she did with that money is irrelevant to me, but I know in my heart of hearts that I did something good. I felt like I did something good, and I was being good, and I was being my authentic, genuine self. And whether or not her intentions were true or real or in alignment, or, my thing was I saw someone in need, and the universe in my heart at that moment told me to give and to be a go-giver. And to give because I have, So again, it's like, do I do that? Do I not do that? And sometimes you struggle with things. And I'm always, pointing to the higher good of whatever it is that I must do, or what I need to do. So I just kind of want to leave you with that, man. Sensory acuity, right? How can you adjust to other people's energy? So maybe you're matching them. Maybe you want to bring them somewhere else. Maybe you need to really talk to them about something. So you got to match their energy where they're at. And then, slowly but surely, once you gain that know, like, and trust and get them out of their head and into their heart, you can bring them to where you need to possibly get them or bring them or move them towards, right? And then you connect with people when you listen. And sometimes just asking a question and giving them a direction, of where they want to go. Because questions give us directions and intentions to what our highest, thing is at that moment, or whatever our highest need to speak about is in that moment. So again, it was great speaking to you guys, and I hope this was helpful. It's just a video I want to do, and I hope that served you. So, a question to ask, where can you use sensory acuity in your life, and what can it do to benefit you? Take care. Have a great day. Bye.